What if I told you there are places in the universe where the laws of physics, the same rules that keep planets in orbit and light moving through space, simply stop working? Places so mysterious that not even light, the fastest thing we know, can escape? These are black holes, cosmic monsters hiding in plain sight. But here's the real question. What lies beyond them? Is it destruction or a doorway to something greater? What if I told you that somewhere out there, hidden in the velvet dark of the cosmos, are places where reality itself stops making sense? Places where everything we trust, everything that feels permanent and unshakable, is torn apart by an invisible force. Imagine drifting through the stars, seeing galaxies glowing like jewels in the distance, and then feeling that faint pull at first, like a whisper tugging at your bones. It grows stronger with every passing second until you realize there's no turning back. Ahead of you lies a shadow against the infinite, darker than darkness itself. A black hole. No light escapes it. No message leaves it. It is the universe's most perfect secret keeper, and the most terrifying part isn't what it takes in. It's the mystery of what might be waiting beyond. You see, the universe is a place of rules. Gravity holds you to Earth. Time pushes you forward, never backward. Light travels faster than anything else, racing across the cosmos to reach our eyes. These rules feel eternal, untouchable. But the moment you approach a black hole, they begin to twist, bend, and break in ways that feel almost supernatural. Around every black hole is a boundary called the event horizon, a line drawn in space that says, cross here and you're gone forever. From the outside, it looks invisible, but it is the deadliest line in the universe. To step across is to step out of the world we know and into the unknown. And beyond that line, no scientist, no explorer, no machine has ever returned to tell the tale. Think about the implications. We've built telescopes that can look back almost to the birth of the universe. We've measured the faint glow of the Big Bang itself. We've seen galaxies colliding, stars exploding, and planets forming around newborn suns. But black holes? They remain silent. They refuse to let us peek inside. All we can do is imagine. And those imaginations, those theories built on fragile mathematics and whispers of possibility, lead us into places more bizarre and unsettling than anything fiction could invent. Some believe what lies inside is a singularity, an infinitely dense point where matter is crushed smaller and smaller until space and time themselves collapse. To fall into such a place is to be erased from the universe's story. But others dare to think differently. They say the singularity may not be an end at all. It may be a passage, a hidden doorway through which the universe hides its most astonishing secret. Picture this. You're an astronaut, floating closer and closer to the edge. At first, nothing feels wrong. The stars glitter. The black hole itself looks like a dark sphere, a hole punched in the fabric of the sky, surrounded by a glowing halo of matter being torn apart and heated to unimaginable temperatures. But as you drift nearer, you notice something unsettling. The universe behind you seems to slow. Your clock ticks normally, but the outside world begins racing ahead. A minute for you might be an hour, a year, a century for those outside. Time itself bends, stretches, and warps like molten glass. To an observer far away, you would appear to freeze at the edge of the event horizon, locked in place forever. But from your perspective, you keep falling deeper and deeper into the unknown. And then comes the crossing. You pass the event horizon. To the rest of the universe, you vanish in silence. No light escapes to carry news of your fate. You are cut off from existence as we know it. Inside, there is no way to send a signal, no way to shout back to the world outside. What would you see in that moment? Would everything around you fade to black? Would colors distort into unimaginable spectrums? Would you even have the ability to perceive what was happening anymore? No one knows. But here's where the theories get truly terrifying. Some suggest you would be stretched thin, atom by atom, in a process called spaghettification, until your very being unraveled into strands of energy spiraling toward the singularity. Others whisper that before that happens, you might pass through. Something else, something that isn't destruction at all, but a bridge, a wormhole. The idea that black holes could serve as tunnels, leading not only to other corners of our universe, but perhaps to other universes entirely, has haunted physics for decades. Imagine falling not into death, but into a cosmic highway. Imagine emerging somewhere beyond the stars, in a galaxy billions of light years away, or even in a universe with rules and realities completely alien to us. What would it feel like to step into such a place? Would you find new worlds, new skies, perhaps even new versions of reality itself? Or would you find only chaos, a storm of physics so different that survival is impossible? The doorway is there in the equations. Einstein's. Math allows it, but math alone doesn't guarantee safety. A wormhole might collapse in an instant, stranding you in a place no one else could reach. And even if it didn't, even if it stayed open, what lies at the other end? That's the question no one dares answer with certainty. Because there's another possibility, one more disturbing than all the rest. What if on the other side isn't a new world or a new universe, but the end of time itself? A place where forward, backward, up, and down have no meaning. A place where consciousness itself might dissolve into nothingness. To cross into that would not be to travel. It would be to vanish. It would be the final erasure. And yet, some physicists argue that black holes cannot destroy everything. They believe that somehow information, the fundamental code of reality, remains imprinted on the event horizon. If that's true, then nothing that falls inside is ever truly gone. Not a star, not a planet, not even you. A black hole becomes a vault, a library of existence. But a library no one knows how to read. Imagine if one day we could. Imagine what secrets would spill out. Entire civilizations, ancient stars, forgotten corners of the universe, knowledge itself preserved in silence. The most unsettling twist. Is this? Black holes aren't just out there, millions of light years away. One of them lives right here in our cosmic neighborhood. At the very heart of the Milky Way, our galaxy, sits Sagittarius A*, a supermassive black hole 4 million times the mass of our sun. It silently governs the dance of stars around it, pulling them into dizzying orbits, shaping the very structure of the galaxy we call home. Every night, when you look at the sky, you are gazing at a universe ruled by a black hole. It isn't a distant theory. It is part of the story we are all living in. And that story might not be what we think. Because some scientists believe our entire universe was born on the far side of one. Think about that for a moment. The Big Bang, the explosion that gave rise to time, space, matter, and life itself, may not have been the beginning. It may have been the consequence of something else, a white hole, the mirror twin of a black hole, spewing matter into existence. If that's true, then our cosmos is not a solitary creation. It's part of a chain. Black holes destroy in one universe, and white holes give birth in another. Universes may be connected, not separate, branching out in endless cascades of creation and collapse. Which means black holes are not just graves, they are wombs. They are the places where the death of one reality becomes the birth of another. And if that's true, then staring into a black hole is not looking at an end. It's looking at a beginning we cannot yet understand. But that realization comes with a deeper, more chilling question. If our universe was born from the other side of a black hole, then what lies waiting for us when ours collapses? Will everything we know Everything we've built spill into another cosmos, seeding a new reality? And if so, does that mean the lives we live, the moments we treasure, the history we write, are destined to echo beyond our own universe? Or will it all vanish, leaving behind only silence? The truth remains hidden, locked beyond the horizon. And until we find a way to look inside, the question will haunt us. When the universe finally forces us to confront what lies beyond a black hole, will it be the birth of something greater, or the end of everything? If black holes are not just endings but beginnings, then we are faced with a truth so staggering it almost feels impossible to grasp. Our universe may not be the only one. For centuries, humans have looked up at the night sky and thought of it as infinite. The stars stretched endlessly, and we assumed that was all there was. But what if those stars, those galaxies, those shining rivers of light, are just a single page in a book too large for us to imagine? What if every black hole is an ink blot spilling into another page, another story, another cosmos entirely? That possibility turns black holes into something more than cosmic monsters. They become portals, doorways, thresholds between worlds. And if that's true, and every time we look at one, we are staring not at a grave, but at the locked gate of another reality. Scientists call this idea the multiverse. It sounds like fantasy, like something pulled from the pages of science fiction, but it has roots in the cold logic of physics. If black holes contain singularities, and if singularities can birth new space-time, then it's possible that every collapse seeds a new bubble of reality. Imagine universes branching off from one another like roots beneath the soil, each one with its own laws, its own version of physics, its own story. In one, stars may never form. In another, life may bloom in ways we cannot even picture. In another, still, maybe a version of us exists, looking up at their night sky and asking the same haunting question: what lies beyond? But if universes can multiply this way, then the universe we live in may just be one of countless others born through the silent violence of black holes. And yet, with every theory comes fear. Because if black holes give birth to universes, what does that say about our own? If we were born from one, then somewhere hidden beyond horizons we cannot see, there may be a parent universe, an ancient cosmos whose death gave birth to our beginning. Does it still exist? Or has it collapsed entirely, leaving us as its last echo? And if we can be born from another, then will our own universe one day do the same, collapsing into silence, only to spill into something new? It is both humbling and terrifying to imagine that everything we know is just part of a cycle, a repeating rhythm of birth, death, and rebirth that stretches across realities. But here's the most unsettling thought of all. If black holes can lead to other universes, what if something else can come back through? Imagine for a moment that black holes are not one-way doors. Imagine that on the other side, in a different cosmos, something looks back. We think of black holes as our mystery, our puzzle. But what if in another universe, something else has already solved them? What if they can cross through, reaching us through the same doorway we fear to enter? Would we even recognize them? Would they be life as we understand it, or something far beyond? The idea chills the spine because it suggests that black holes are not just boundaries, they are bridges. And bridges can be crossed in both directions. If we one day learn to pass through them, who's to say something else hasn't already done the same? Some physicists dismiss this, clinging to the comfort of destruction. They argue that inside a black hole, nothing survives, nothing escapes. Matter is crushed into the singularity, information is lost forever, and the story ends there. But even this explanation doesn't free us from mystery. Because if information is truly lost, then black holes break the most sacred law of physics. That nothing, not even the smallest scrap of data, can be destroyed. And if that law can be broken, then everything we believe about the universe's order falls apart. Which is worse, that black holes are gateways to realities we cannot understand, or that they are prisons where the very logic of existence dies. Either way, the truth is unsettling, because it reminds us how little we truly know. Now imagine what it would mean if we could one day harness a black hole. It sounds impossible, reckless, insane even. But humans are curious by nature, and curiosity is relentless. Already, scientists dream of using black holes as power sources, feeding them matter to unleash unimaginable energy. Others dream of using them as shortcuts, traveling across the universe through the tunnels they might contain. But every dream comes with a cost. To approach one is to gamble with annihilation. To fall inside is to risk never returning. And yet, the rewards, if the theories are true, could rewrite everything we know about travel, survival, and even immortality. Could a black hole be the key, not just to surviving as a species, but to stepping beyond the limits of our universe itself? Or would such ambition only accelerate our destruction? There is a story the universe tells us in silence. Black holes do not shout, they do not reveal. They wait, and in their waiting, they tempt us. We look at them through telescopes, we measure. Their shadows, we run equations trying to unravel their secrets. But maybe the most important truth isn't hidden inside them at all. Maybe it's hidden in us, in our willingness to face what terrifies us, to chase what seems impossible, to step toward the unknown, even when it could consume us. Because if black holes truly are gates, then one day someone, something, somewhere will cross. The question is, will it be us? But here's the paradox that refuses to let go. If time stretches infinitely at the edge of a black hole, then perhaps someone already has crossed. Perhaps civilizations older than ours, in galaxies, now long dead, already stepped through. And if they did, maybe they discovered that what lies beyond isn't death, isn't chaos, isn't emptiness at all, but something waiting, something vast, something watching. Imagine looking into a black hole and realizing that on the other side, there is not an end, but an arrival. That possibility alone is enough to keep us awake at night, staring into the dark, wondering if somewhere, beyond the silence, we are not alone. And so we return to the haunting truth. We do not know. We cannot know. Not yet. We stand on the edge of knowledge, peering into shadows darker than anything we've ever seen. And we ask the same question again and again. Black holes swallow light. They swallow matter. They swallow time. But do they swallow truth? Or do they hide it, waiting for the moment we are brave or reckless enough to step across? Somewhere, beyond that invisible horizon, an answer waits. And the terrifying part is this. Once we find it, there may be no way to turn back. The universe is a story written in fire and silence, in explosions that birth stars, and in the quiet collapse that swallows them whole. And as we reach this final part of our journey together, we arrive at perhaps the most haunting question of all. If stars are born with such brilliance and die with such drama, what does that mean for everything else? What does that mean for us tiny creatures staring at the night sky, aware of beginnings and endings, yet trapped somewhere in between? You see, stars are not just distant lights scattered across space. They are messengers. Every photon that touches your eyes when you look at the night sky is ancient. Some of that light has traveled thousands, millions, even billions of years to reach you. When you look up, you are not seeing the universe as it is, but as it was. You're peering into history, catching echoes of events long gone. And that realization alone should shake you to your very core, because it means that death, even on a cosmic scale, is never really the end. It lingers, it echoes. It leaves behind traces that shape what comes after. Think of the atoms in your body, every single one of them forged in the heart of a star. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the oxygen in your lungs, none of it could exist without a star that lived, earned, and died long before Earth was born. You are literally a collection of stardust bound together by gravity and chance, carrying within you the history of cosmic fires that once raged brighter than 1,000,000,000 suns. That means the story of a star's death is not just a distant spectacle. It is your story. It is the reason you are alive, the reason you can breathe, love, feel, wonder, and even cry while listening to a story like this. Stars die so that something else can live. Their endings create the possibility of beginnings. And that is one of the most humbling truths of all. We owe our existence to death. Without the sacrifice of stars, there would be no Earth, no oceans, no trees, no animals, no people. Their destruction gave birth to creation. Their silence allowed life to sing. But if stars live and stars die, what happens to the universe itself? What happens when not just individual stars, but the entire cosmos ages? The truth is, scientists believe that every galaxy, every star, every particle carries within it the seeds of an ending. Just as stars exhaust their fuel and fade away, the universe too is slowly winding down. Expansion stretches galaxies apart, making the night sky darker, lonelier, over unimaginable spans of time. New stars will form less often. The bright tapestry of the universe will slowly unravel. One day, the heavens above may be almost entirely empty, no pinpricks of light to guide the gaze of curious beings like us. The night sky may become a vast ocean of black, silent and still. And yet, even then, even in that distant future where stars no longer burn, their legacy will remain in the atoms, in the dust, in whatever new forms the universe dreams up from their remains. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? We live such brief lives compared to the age of the cosmos. To a star, we are sparks bright for a heartbeat, then gone. And yet, for us, that heartbeat means everything. We love, we fight, we dream, we fear, we hope. We live within seconds. But those seconds are all we have. When we stand beneath the night sky and feel small, it is easy to think we don't matter. But the truth is, the very fact that we can look up, think, and wonder that we can feel awe at the story of the stars means that we carry something eternal inside us. We are proof that the universe did not just create matter and energy. It created meaning. And meaning can outlive even the brightest star. That's the beauty and the tragedy of it all. Stars are reminders that endings are not failures. Endings are transformations. A star that collapses into a black hole is not erased. It becomes something else. Something strange, something that defies even our imagination. A star that explodes into a supernova is not destroyed. It becomes the cradle of new stars, new worlds, new lives. And maybe that is the lesson the universe whispers to us through the language of light. That even when it feels like everything is falling apart, even when endings seem too heavy to bear, they may be carrying within them the seeds of something greater. Maybe our own lives, short as they are like that too. So tonight, if you step outside and look up at the stars, remember this: you are not just looking at lights. You are looking at ancestors. You are looking at storytellers. You are looking at the very substance of your own body reflected back at you across time. And though they will fade, though they will die, they are never truly gone. Their light lives on in your eyes. Their atoms live on in your veins. Their story lives on in your thoughts. To know this, to feel this, is to understand that we are not alone in the dark. We are the children of stars. And as long as we live, their story continues. And so, when we look at the heavens above us, the story of the universe's size is not just about distances written in numbers or galaxies counted in billions. It is about perspective. Our entire world everything we have ever known is resting on a tiny grain of cosmic dust floating in an ocean without shores. Light itself, the fastest traveler we know, needs billions of years just to cross a portion of this vastness. Imagine if you could ride on a single beam of light racing faster than anything imaginable. You would still take 2 million years just to reach our neighboring galaxy Andromeda. And beyond Andromeda lie clusters, superclusters, filaments, and then the unseen boundaries of the observable universe, 46 billion light years in every direction. But even that is not the full picture. Beyond what we can see may lie countless other regions, other universes perhaps, stretching on without end. Scale is humbling. It reminds us that our daily worries, our triumphs, even our greatest monuments, are but whispers in a cosmic symphony too vast for the human mind to fully capture. And yet, within this immensity, we find meaning. We ask questions. We build telescopes. We send signals into the dark. We dream. The very fact that we, fragile beings on a small planet, can look up and wonder about the infinite speaks volumes about the power of consciousness itself. The universe may be vast beyond comprehension, but the human spirit curious, restless, and unafraid to ask what lies beyond is what allows us to step into that immensity with awe rather than fear. So, can we truly grasp the size of the universe? The answer is both yes and no. No, because the numbers and distances are beyond anything our senses evolved to understand. But yes, in the sense that we can feel its immensity, stand humbled under the night sky, and know that we are part of something infinitely larger than ourselves. In that moment of wonder, we do not need to measure every light year or count every galaxy. It is enough to know that the story of the universe is not separate from us. We are threads woven into its endless fabric. And perhaps that realization is more powerful than numbers. The universe is vast, yes, but within it we belong.